kids. I'm Anastasia Grace. So happy to have you here. Today is Sword Day. That's right. We're going to talk about the sword. We're going to practice using it in all sorts of different ways that you can balance it and move with it. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can get notified of all of my videos. Let's get to it. There are a lot of different kinds of swords out there. Some are straight, some are very curved. It really depends on what kind of look you're going for and what kind of dance you want to perform. Now this one here is very heavy. The heavier the sword, the easier it is to balance. A light sword tends to have a mind of its own and can often do what you don't want it to do. This one here is not sharp. It is a blunt instrument. There are ones that are sharp, and some dancers do dance with sharp ones. But for today's practice, I'm going to use this one that's not sharp. Once you get your sword, you're going to want to find its center of balance. And every sword is different, but generally it will be closer to the hilt, which is the handle, than it will be to the end. So here's my center of balance on my sword. When you do, you're going to want to mark it. Many dancers might use some clear nail polish, maybe put some salt or some sand down first and then some nail polish over that. I use wax on mine to kind of help mark it and help with my balance. So there are different ways that you can not only mark it, but help it to stay where it is. So let's just start with a simple balance. You can use whichever hand you want, or you can try both hands. But the important thing too to remember that when you are working on your balance, there are other moves that can go with it. So let's just do a slow figure 8 up just to get ourselves moving. It doesn't need to be anything big or juicy. Maybe try some amis. Because when you're on stage, you're not just holding this sword and standing still, you're moving with it. If you're ready to move on, let's talk about our next balancing spot. A really great place to balance it is on your shoulder. So if you have some hair, get it out of your way and find that balancing spot that you have on your sword. You might find it easier to move any kind of shirt out of the way while you're practicing so you can really feel that connection between your body and the sword. And when you're ready, let go. Now this is where our belly dance position really comes in play. You want to make sure that you're nicely engaged here. You're lifted, your shoulders are rolled down, and you've got a nice balance. And why don't we just do a nice simple step, touch, drop, drop, step, touch, drop, drop. Good. Step, touch, drop, drop, step, touch, drop, drop. Ready for your next balancing pose? This one involves the chest. It can be very challenging depending on what you have up here, but the best thing about the chest is, again, when you put it up here and you find that balancing pose, you want to get yourself nice and lifted. If you're down like this, that's going to be very difficult for your sword. So you're going to be nice and lifted as you find that place. Maybe do yourself a nice little back bend with your arms, like so, around your sword and down. Arms up, bring them down, around your sword and forward. If you feel comfortable enough to move to the other side, that's good. Let's try some different arms. Up and out and down and out and up. How'd that feel? You ready to move on to our next one? Next one is going to involve a lot of balance because this one you have to balance yourself as well as your sword. So let's give it a try on our knee. So you have to be able to stand in this position, make sure your toe is nice and pointed, keep yourself lifted, and there it is with your knee. Let's put our arms up, come back down, and just put our arms up and come down, up and down. Why don't we try the other knee? See if maybe one side is better for you than the other. All right, ready? Lift that knee. Make sure you're engaged, lifted, rolled down. That's really important when you're doing this. Get your balance. Put your sword on your knee. And let's move our arms up and down. Up and down. Make sure you're engaged. Core muscles are tucked in and you're breathing. If you want a little extra challenge, go ahead and straighten that leg. If that's enough for you, you can stay right there. If you're ready to move on, let's do our next balancing pose. The next one is kind of a hip balance. It's more on your side than actually your hip, but you're going to keep this leg nice and straight, and this one's going to be popped in your 1.5 position, and your hip is going to roll out. So your hip should be out like so. And you're going to find your balancing position here. Now remember, you want to keep yourself up nice and straight. We don't want to be down like that. And we're just going to balance here. Now, since you're standing on this leg, this is where your strength is, squeeze yourself in here to give yourself that nice stability, and maybe kick a little. Move your arms in and out and up and out. How's that feel? Should we try the other side? Let's see how we do on the other side. Keep this leg nice and straight. Roll that hip out. You're now on your toes. Keep this part up and engaged. And find that balancing position. Open up straight. Give yourself a minute, and when you're ready, maybe do a little kick. Lift your leg. If that's no good for you, just try moving your arms. All right, ready for the final challenge. This is the one that the audience always waits for. They know it's coming. It's fantastic anticipation, and they are waiting for the head. All right, how do you balance your sword on the head? You're going to find that place right at the tip of your crown here as to where it feels most comfortable. Remember that you have that spot that we've been practicing with, and that is where you're going to end up putting your sword. So find that spot. Now some people like to have it a little bit further back on their crown as opposed to here. Everybody's head is shaped differently, so it's really going to depend. I prefer it in the front because keeping your chin up helps with that in the front. So find your spot, and when you're ready, let go. All right, so we have everything here is engaged. We're lifted, we're rolled. Chin is nice and lifted as well. And if you're comfortable here, let's do some movements. Let's do some Mayas. Nice and slow. We're not doing anything amazing here yet. All right, how about some chest circles? How are you feeling, okay? Good. Try your chest circle the other way. Let's try an undulation. So now we got a little bit of movement in the upper and the lower. If you're ready to take it bigger, feel free to take it bigger. Just been doing small movements. But now we can go bigger if you're comfortable. And then if you're really ready for the challenge, try to move with it on your head. We can just do simple steps to the side. Just to get ourselves comfortable with it, we're doing nice small steps, one side to the other. Now if you want to add in some hip circles, really challenge yourself. And if you drop your sword, that is okay. Just pick it back up and try again. Your final challenge is going to be a level change. So if you can't get down on the floor and you just want to bend your knees, that's okay. If you want to go all the way down, we'll do that together. So let's just try a nice level change. The key is to put one foot in front of the other, ever so slightly. That's going to help you with your balance down here and keeping your center of gravity in the center. Okay, let's try and go down. Maybe start with a little tiny shimmy and get yourself down. Now, if this is as far as you can go because of your knees, that's okay. Just bring yourself back up and try again. If you're ready to go all the way down, let's go all the way down to the floor. All right, so let's pause here for a second. Everybody okay? All right, let's sit back on our heels and come up. Let's try that again. Ready? Back on your heels and come up. If you drop your sword, it's okay. Just try again. Maybe try a little undulation while we're here. And some hip circles. All right, let's just pause there for a second. Take a breath. When you're ready to stand up, let's do it. Onto your knees, keeping yourself nice and engaged. Whichever leg you feel is the strongest. I am strongest lifting on my right. If you are a lefty, you might feel better lifting with your left. Try both, see what works for you, and let's stand up. Hopefully I don't drop the sword. Should we just practice to some music and have a little fun? Let's do it.
रत्नैः कल्पितमासनं हिमजलैः स्नानं च दिव्याम्बरम् नानारत्नविभूषितं मृगमदा मोदाङ्कितं चन्दनम् पञ्चविधं परियुतं पन्ताफलं विधं परियुतं पञ्चविधं परियुतं पन्ताफलं विधं परियुतं पञ्चविधं परियुतं पन्ताफलं विधं परियुतं पञ्चविधं परियुतं घृतमाफलं विधं परियुतं कामजनकम् आदर्शजनकं निर्मलं जनकं गङ्गकोजनकं कामजनकम् आदर्शजनकं कल्पेजनकं निर्मलं चामरयोयुगं विजय
great job working with that sword today. I hope you had as much fun as I did and you learned something new. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, drop me a comment, let me know how it's going, and I will see you tomorrow.